After we've created the document and formatted and put in the general vocabulary, we're going to move on to general technology tips. So I'm going to type that in. Okay, and I'm going to hit return because I want to go on to the next line. Since this is the next part of the document, I want to make sure I insert a heading here. So I'm going to highlight that by double tapping on one of the words and then dragging that cursor. And remember, when I want to add a heading, I tap the A button in the upper right hand corner that has the little pencil. And I'm going to use heading 1 for that. And then I can tap underneath where I had, had originally hit return. Okay, so first thing for general technology tips, we're going to talk about saving files. Okay, I'm going to type that and then hit return. Now, since this is part of heading 1, I'm going to create its own heading here. Whoop, too many, drag that too far. And I want to make this a little bit smaller, so I'm going to go back up to that A with the pencil, and I'm going to make this a heading 2. And the first thing I want to put under saving files is what to name files. Okay. Now, once I type that out and I follow it by a colon, I'm going to hit return. And now we're going to insert a numbered list, 3 pieces of info, I'm sorry, not a numbered list, a bulleted list of the 3 pieces of information that you know that you need to include when you name a file. We've talked about this several times over the beginning of the school year. So the first thing I want to do is tap the bullets. I'm going to insert bullets. I chose the check mark. You can choose whatever you want. And the first piece of information, I'm not going to tell you these. These are on you to fill out, but I will tell you there are 3 things. And I'm going to type all 3 of those and then hit return twice. You might want to pause the video now, type those in, what you think you need to name the files based on what we've talked about all year. And then after you are done filling that in, you can hit play. The next thing we're going to do is talk about where we save files. Okay. This is going to also be filled in by you. What specific place is it important for us to save our files whenever we have a lot of them that we need to sort through? So consider that for a moment. You can hit pause now while you think about that and fill that in. After you're done typing that, you're going to hit return. And next we're going to do how to save files. Okay. Now, for this one, we're going to do a numbered list, and you are going to fill that list in for yourself. We've talked about this at length. There are 4 steps, so I'm going to hit those numbers right at the top of the screen, and I'm going to choose whichever I like. I'm going to choose one of the first 2 because I want it to be regular numbers. Okay, and then I'm going to type the 4-step directions on how to save files on the iPad. Now, remember, I'm not going to go over this in this video. This is for you to fill out based on what we've done throughout the course of the year so far. So you might want to hit pause because I'm going to move on. Okay, so at this point, you should have filled in what to name the files, where to save the files, and how to save the files. The next one, or the next general tip that we're going to talk about is using split screen. Using split screen on the iPad. So I'm going to type that and then hit return. Since this is not the same as saving files, I want to make this its own header, or heading rather. So just like I did with saving files, I'm going to tap that A with the pencil, and then I'm going to make that a heading 2 because that is the same category as saving files. Now we have done split screen several times throughout the course of this year. So what I want you to do is to give me 3 to 4 steps that you would use to open split screen on an iPad. So again, I'm going to need numbers. So I'm going to go ahead and tap the numbering options. Okay. Oh. Nope. Or I can just tap 1 and space, and it will create a new list for me. Now again, you can give me, there are 3 or 4, depending on how you word them. There are 3 or 4 steps. So you are going to type those in, and you are going to fill those out. Okay? So you might want to pause and fill those in. What 3 to 4 steps should I follow if I want to use split screen on the iPad? Okay, and then we're going to have one more subheading underneath the general technology tips. And this is using the Notes app to scan documents into PDFs. Okay, so I'm going to type that in, and then I'm going to make that another heading. So tap that A with the pencil, heading 2. So to make this easier on you, I am not going to make you type all of those in, since I already typed those out for you a long time ago. So what I want you to do is you are going to open Teams in that split screen. And you will notice, hopefully, that I entered those steps for you in the post from October 7th. So I'm going to tap and hold on that part, that reply, and it'll bring up a menu, and I'm going to hit copy. And then I'm going to go back to Word. I'm in full screen. And I'm going to tap there. Now you'll see that it does not bring up an option to paste. So I need to use a keyboard shortcut to do that. The keyboard shortcut for paste is Command V. So I'm going to hit Command then V, and you will notice that it put all of those in for me. Okay? But you will notice also that this is a different, first of all, it pasted the entire post, so I can get rid of those directions. Okay? And then you'll notice that that is a different font. So what I'm going to do is double tap, and I want to format this so it matches everything. Remember, our font for this was Verdana. So I'm going to scroll down and find that. Of course, I have to pick one that's the very bottom, and I want that to be size 11. Okay. All right. So now we have the last of the general technology tips. So I want to make sure there's 2 spaces under those steps, and I'm going to add a new section. This is keyboarding, and I'm going to hit return, and then I'm going to highlight that, and because this is a brand new section of its own, I'm going to hit heading 1. And we are going to do a series of vocabulary words. So we are going to use bullets, and what you're going to do is that you are going to type all the words in, and then you'll go back and add a definition based on your understanding of the word as we've used it throughout this school year. So again, I'm going to pick some bullets here. I picked the arrows, and here are your words. The first one is indent. Second one is italics. Third is margin. Fourth is alignment. Fifth is line spacing. Sixth is page orientation. The next one is the tab key, the shift key, the command key, and then home row. So those are all the vocabulary words that we have learned in the course of our keyboarding. So I want you to pause and I want you to fill in all of those words with definitions. Do not Google and copy and paste. I want your words so you know what they mean in your own understanding.